Yep, that can't be good. When I started off woodworking, I was just like you. I wanted to build all of the biggest, baddest projects in the world. But there was one problem. I didn't have all the tools required to do that. I needed to make money and make money fast. So I turned to home decor and rustic woodworking projects that were low cost and high profit. And little by little was able to purchase the tools I needed for my shop. So today I want to show you some of those woodworking projects that I started off selling and that I still build and sell to this day. So meet me at the table saw. One of the first projects that was a hot seller for me is this tray for your sofa's sidearm. Let me show you how to build it. You can build this out of any type of hardwood or softwood you like. I'm just using maple for this instance, just for the demonstration purposes of building this. So you want to rip your piece of 3/4 inch stock down to 9 inches, bring it over to your miter box, set your bevel on a 45, and I like to go over 45 just by about a half a degree. Now the first cut you want to make is going to be at 4.5 inches square to long. Now we're going to be doing a grain wrap. So what you want to do after you make your first cut is take and cut that long point going back the opposite way. Now I always made mine long to long, 6.5 inches, and that tends to fit your standard sofa arm. Now for our last piece, we're going to take and reverse that bevel one last time and get this piece cut to 12 inches square to long. And there's your 3 pieces for your frame. Grab yourself some blue tape and some glue, and let's get our pieces lined up and take a look at how our grain pattern stays consistent. That is just beautiful. Apply some blue tape. And we'll add a dab of glue. And to help this stay upright and square, we're just going to add a couple pieces of tape around the perimeter on both sides. And it wouldn't hurt to leave it leaned up against your table saw fence with this long part resting against it. We'll let that dry and I'll meet you back here. Alright, so with this dry, we'll go ahead and add one of my favorite features to this piece. I don't know about y'all, but when I'm coming home from a long day of work and I want to dive into the latest woodworking things, I like to read my magazines. So I'm going to put a magazine holder right here at the bottom of our piece. Your typical magazine is 8 inches wide and 10 inches long. We got plenty of room. We've got 9 inches, so we'll get a piece of plywood ripped down to 2 inches and get it cut at the miter box 8.5 inches long to long. Then we'll take and get 2 pieces cut to 1.5 inches square to long. Go ahead and get this glued up. We'll set that to the side and let it dry. And we need to cut a bottom to hold the magazines. We'll rip a piece of plywood to 3/4 and get it cut to 7 5/8. We'll bring it over to our piece and add a dab of glue. Get that set in there, and we're going to add a clamp and set this to the side. You know how I always keep it real with you guys, even when I mess up. Well, I am a jackass. Stubborn jackass! Dang it, I forgot to drill my hole for my coffee mug. How did I forget that? I don't know. But don't fret, there's still a way we can get it drilled out using our DeWalt drill with a 3-inch Forstner bit. I'm not sure how good it's going to work out, but we're damn sure going to try. Whew, let's see how this works. Not good at all. Dang, guys. Okay, so don't try that. And I fried my drill. Yep, that can't be good. Wow, I totally just fried my drill. Holy cow. Go ahead, let me hear it in the comments. I know, I should have known better, but you know, I tried, I failed. I should have known better, being plywood, that was not going to work out in my favor. There's still one thing I think we can do to salvage this piece. We're going to take some blue tape and just outline the tape. Take our router and just get it as perfect as we possibly can. Alright, so you know what? That didn't turn out too damn bad. Save yourself the headache though, and pre-drill with this 3-inch Forstner bit before you glue this thing together. You'll get much better results. And make sure you do it on your drill press. Go down about 1/4 inch. That's about all the depth you need. Now that we got that out of the way, I'm gonna add a slot on the top of this thing to set my iPad or my phone while I'm sitting having my morning coffee or afternoon magazine. So we'll take and get our bevel set to 12 degrees. We're gonna set our blade height for 3/8 of an inch. Now bring over your magazine holder, and we'll add a dab of glue. We'll come down flush to the bottom. Let's get that clamped in. Now, before we move on to our next project, I want to show you what these things are going for. Check these couple out. They range anywhere from upwards of 90 bucks to 35 bucks. For this one, this was obviously a demonstration, but I could really clean this up and still get $40 out of this project. These things are always popular. It's got 20 views in the last 24 hours. That's not bad at all. So with that being said, you're looking at about 5 to 10 bucks to build one of these, with a significant profit margin for your price point. So say you don't have money to purchase wood, everyone can get their hands on pallet wood. Our next project is one that you don't need money to invest in. Even if you don't have a circular saw or drill, I'm sure somebody knows somebody who has one you can borrow, and I've done it in the past. Our next project is one of the simplest projects to start woodworking and making some tool money, and that is this Rustic Shelf. This thing is so easy to make and packs one of the biggest profits imaginable. Wait till you see what people are getting for these rustic reclaimed pallet projects. Let's get started. So we've got some 1/2-inch pallet wood strips, and I'm going to use the 2 different sizes that I have. So we need to find our common length, which is at 20 inches. So I'm going to keep these ones at 20 and cut some of these 1/2-inch by 6-inch pieces to 16 inches. Be aware of where your nails are. That way you don't hit the nails. That would not be good. All right, so now that I've got my 2 pieces cut, I'm gonna add them with my other 2. Now I've got this piece of cedar right here that's gonna be my shelf, and it's got this awesome little knotted area right here that's gonna be perfect for this rustic look. Next, what you wanna do is just get this laid out how you think would look appealing. I think I've got the right idea with this shelf so far. Next thing you wanna do is make a tick mark on each piece. That way you can transfer the line to the back side, and we're gonna get this fastened from the back. All right, so we'll get our lines that we made transferred to our back. And our shelf will be mounted right above that line. And we'll make sure we have all of our lines lined up perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and pre-drill my holes where my screws will be going. Let's go ahead and get them preset. That way we can make quick work of this. We'll take our piece of cedar here and just make a little tick mark right where the end of our cedar will touch the end of our backer. And we'll take our first piece and line it up with that mark we just made, making sure that we're lined up with the bottom of our cedar right at that bottom mark we made earlier. Go ahead and install these screws. Look at how badass that is. If you want to get real fancy with it, you can get any kind of color stain to slap on this thing and bring this thing to life like you wouldn't believe. As far as hanging this bad boy, I would probably wind up doing a French cleat and then shipping the opposing cleat with this package if I was to sell it online. When I sold these in the beginning, I would take them to my local markets, and I had a faux wall, and then I would just hang everything on the wall so people could really get a feel for what it would look like in their home. And people go nuts for this reclaimed wood project. Just take a look at what they're getting for these. That, my friends, is a big ass profit. Our last project for this video that brings in some big tool money is this wall decor. This is basically a 3-tier display shelf made out of some more pallet wood. So you're gonna need 2 slats, and we're gonna make our slats 26 inches. What I like most about these pallet projects is you don't have to have a miter box, a table saw, or any of the sort. Just get yourself a cheap circular saw and an impact. Or just borrow one, like I said earlier in the video, which I've done many a times. Now with our 2 pieces together, we've got 10 3/4. Most pallets come with a framing member that the slats nail to. So for the shelving, you could either use that, or what I've got here is a piece of 2x6 ripped down to 4 inches, and you need about 3 foot of a 2x6, 2x4, or the framing for the slats. What you want to do next is cut 3 at 8 inches. Now bring your pieces down flush to the bottom here, and just line them up to be even from either side at the bottom. And we're just going to pop 2 screws in each piece and install the other one. Make sure you pre-drill your holes so you don't split your backer. Now we'll go to the top and do the same thing. Just split your difference, make sure you're even on both sides and flush at the very top. Now you want to find your center, and we got 26, so we'll go 13 inches, and that'll be the center of our last block. And just double check that your distance between both left and right sides is equal, and make sure that you're at the center of those marks. And booyah! That is awesome. Another rustic project. So what I would do with this one is stain it with like a walnut stain or maybe even a Shoshugi bond deal with a poly finish, and I would hang it with the French cleat system as well. Just be sure when you're doing a cleat system across the back that you have the same size block at the bottom. That way it sits nice and parallel to the wall instead of having a little cock to it. Hock to it. Anyways, look what they're asking for this guy. It literally cost $0 to build. There's wood laying in all kind of parking lots around industrial areas, pallet wood, reclaimed wood you can find in dumpsters. Go to your cabinet shop, they have all kind of scraps. There's no excuse. If you're looking to get into woodworking and need to get some tools purchased, but you need to get started, these projects are by far the quickest way to make a buck. Rock stars. I really hope y'all enjoyed this video. Until next time, get in your shop, like the video, comment on the video, share the video, and make some sawdust. Skull.